presumably too, I feel like Sasquatch would be a little bit more active during like the fall or winter months versus like the summer months because like a lot of animals, they're going to spend a lot of time resting during the summer, especially with all the hair. It's going to be hot. So I mean, maybe they're going to be in some kind of if they are creating like grass structures or anything like that that they hide in, they're going to be a lot more in those. But at least during the fall and winter months, there's probably a lot more of a chance that you're actually going to come across one because they're going to be trying to look for food. They're going to be scavenging and they're just going to be moving around more in general because they're going to be a little bit more comfortable.
That makes total sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Hans.
No, I was just agreeing with what Shane had said about the heat and the massive size covered in fur, would generate a lot of heat, and you would think they would just lay low.
Yeah, and talking about behavior on them, I could talk about Sasquatch behavior all night, but I think in the hotter climates, they slow down during the day. I don't think they're as active. They're more active at night when it's cooler and they can move around. And I think that's when they move. So at least we see that. I've got a couple of habituation sites I stay in touch with. People have them on their property, and they seem in the summer they move out and they're coming back now. They're not around as much on these properties in the summer, but they're coming back. Right, I'm getting constant updates from these folks lately. They're coming back and more than one in a big way. They're around, so I don't know where they go when it's hot, but it seems like they move more at night and they move more as the climate, gets more pleasant fall and spring.
At least from like your observation, do you feel that they might be more like nocturnal, or do you think it's one of those things like not trying to necessarily call them an animal like that, but do you think it might be one of those things almost like a cat where they kind of just sleep in periods throughout the day where they're not necessarily nocturnal, but they just kind of nap in short bursts, so they're just kind of awake every 4 hours kind of a thing? Like what have you kind of put together as far as that?
Well, I'll take a stab at it and Hans to jump in. And any of these questions, these are good questions, Shane. We'll jump in, both give you kind of our thoughts on it because I'm interested in it. I think there's never one of them. So I think they're always in groups. At least that's my experience. When they're knocking or making whoop or whistle noises, it's not for us. They're making it for each other. And so there's a lot of times a sentry or a watch, squatch, if you will, that's kind of watching a trail or an intersection of trails or an area where people are. The others could be bedded down. They could be relaxing then while that one's watching. At night, that seems to go away. At night, they seem to move around. They're in a group, they're very military. They'll go in circles around you and they'll deploy so they can watch it from different angles and stuff. So if they're around, there's never one. You got to remember that. So, sleep 4 hours at a time, cat nap, that could be possible. They're great observers, and I think they have one eye open all the time.
Do you think it might be one of those things too where when it comes to food, I mean, assumably they're omnivores, they're going to be eating meat and they're going to be eating vegetation. But do you think that they use the night cover as an advantage for them to possibly be able to catch food a little bit easier? Maybe that's kind of why they move around more at night during a pack, is for hunting's sake?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say yes. Yeah. Everything that we talk about when it comes to Sasquatch and Bigfoot, a lot of it is like what we think. I mean, because there's no true expert on the subject. So if I was going to say, if I was asked, do they hunt at night? Are they nocturnal? I would say, well, yeah. From the eye glow that we've witnessed, you would think there's a reason for that. Kind of like an owl. An owl is a predator at night because of its vision and its stealth.
Right.
Well, you would think, okay, same thing with Squatch.
Yeah. That's a very good point. I mean, so his point, getting to what we do see that, we've seen eye glow, eye shine. I don't get hung up in what it's called, but it's there. And as to Hans's point, if they're equipped for that, it's got a purpose. They can see at night or signal each other with the shine or the glow of the eyes. That's nocturnal. adaptation, right? So that fascinates me. So why do they have that? If it helps them do what they want to do at night, get around stealth at night, then they're definitely equipped for it. So his point is valid.